This is Stock Day. News and interviews from the microcap world. Public information on the OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a very exciting guest. He is the CEO of Syndication, Inc. His name is Brian Sorrentino. Their company trades on the OTC pink sheets under the ticker symbol SYNJ. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Everett.
I wanted to know a little bit about a very exciting industry that you guys are in, the day trading platform, stuff like that. But before we get to that segment, I want to know a little bit about yourself and your company. What's so special about it?
Syndication Inc. is right now the program that we're working with right now is called Day Trade Exchange. Day Trade Exchange is a wholly owned subsidiary of Syndication. It's a day trading platform that's been developed to highlight a trading program known as Archer. Now, Archer is a trading program originally designed to handle the feathering in and feathering out of large hedge fund positions into the market, where your own process of moving into the market or moving out of the market can have the effect of moving the market in one direction or another. If you're trying to get into a position, your own buying activity could drive the stock price that you're attempting to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you end up paying more. And the same way when you're leaving a position, if you got something that's matured, you're ready to get out, your own activity of leaving the market ends up potentially driving the price down and reducing your ROI on. So your own activity has to be handled very, very carefully on the entering process, and that's what Archer is originally designed to do. Now, what we're doing right now is we're actually in the process of funding or meeting the qualifications of our underwriters to fund a hedge fund that would be managed by the Archer program. Now, there are requirements that were placed on us in order to be able to meet those terms in order to qualify for the funding, and one of them was that we needed to produce a performance database that allowed them to assess the performance of Archer and whether or not it was something that they wanted to invest in. And basically that's what we did. In order to do that, we developed Day Trade Exchange. Now, this is a little bit different. We've actually had to modify the program a little bit so that it could be introduced to day traders. And day traders is a massive marketplace. We said this is probably the best way and most cost-effective way to introduce Archer to the general public on a mass scale and do it in a cost-effective basis, a couple $100,000 to open up a room. In the mean scheme of things is relatively inexpensive to do. So we modified Archer. We made it so that it could be used as a tool for scalping in the day trade market, which is what day traders do. They're very short holding positions that are never held overnight, and basically you're looking for trades in which you're scalping movements in the market based on volume surge.
So kind of in and out of like every 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, we on a 2-hour session in our morning session, we have professional traders that man the room. They make the calls based on the Archer program, and allows all of our subscribers to be able to enter the market on their own screens at home, following our trade until eventually, and basically we get about maybe anywhere between, depending on the market, 2 to 6 trades. Today was a fantastic day. We got out of there with 6 trades, and they were all winners, all 6 in a row. So the call return, or what our percentages are right now, are running around 87% of our calls are making money. So every time we make a call, 9 of 10 times it's making money.
Hey, let's switch gears here for a second. I'm really excited about it. I used to be an old day trader myself in the 80s and 90s, but it caught my attention that you guys are actually starting to get into the college marketplace of college lab trading. Explain it to myself and to our listeners out there.
Yes, this is even a bit of a surprise to us, and we call it Trade by the Numbers. We developed a sub-program, more or less, called Trade by the Numbers, sort of like paint by the numbers, trade by the numbers, same sort of byline. But it's the college market has all of a sudden become an incredible opportunity for day trade exchange, because the labs, business colleges throughout the country, these are popping up everywhere, but it's in the basis of the lab. The business colleges or the universities that have business degrees that they're offering, majors to students. That one of the things they're finding out is there's always got to be a set of lab credentials that have to be answered as your criteria. So you got to have so much in credit in labs for your business degree, and now they're offering those lab as options, sort of like a menu. Then they actually parade that around to attract new colleges. New students, tuition-paying students to their college. We offer this and this and this in our labs. And this has become a real highlight selling point for the colleges. And trading labs are becoming one of the hot items that colleges are realizing if they offer this. The kids that are coming to school being able to learn how to trade in the markets and earn their credit for their college lab criteria to get their degree, and learn a skill that they can put to work right there, right then, to make them some money on the side is just a win-win for everybody. And they are popping up all over the place. So we designed a program that we're introducing to colleges as a accredited lab called Trade by the Numbers, Archer Trade by the Numbers. So Archer's going to college.
Yeah, you know what's really funny about this, when I was in college, I used to work for International House of Pancakes, and I took any summer job I could get. Now today, college kids are actually making extra spending money day trading.
It's an interesting thing, because now, of course, then they trade. The lab is set up in Sim, but we've offered them. We put together a package as part of the deal. And this is so nice because, in the original signing up of it, they come in and they sign up through the college. The college is actually paying day trade exchange for the use of the trading program in their lab. So they pay their tuition like they normally do. The college reimburses us for the cost of the lab. And then, but what happens is we've went ahead and packaged this in such a way that if you sign up in college and you end up being a new subscriber as a result of your college activity, we'll offer you a discounted college lifelong discount as a subscriber to it. So after they get through their semester of the lab requirement, they want to be able to use the thing privately on their own and, trade it in their dorm rooms every day and that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So we offer them a nice discount. They can have it forever. And this has really turned out to be something that was a bit of a surprise to us, and we're just getting into it. The process, of course, still has to develop a bit, and we still have to meet the accredited criteria required by the college boards to make that lab a college accredited lab. But it is really a wonderful market to have surprisingly be a part of.
My guest today is Brian Sorrentino. He is the CEO of Syndication, Inc. They trade on the OTC pink sheets under the ticker symbol SYNJ. Brian, I know you guys are interested in moving up and uplisting. Tell us where you guys are at in the process of upgrading your listing.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that has to be done in order for us to get the funding and everything like that, we have to become an audited financial reporter. So that's in the process. What we're doing right now is reviewing a number of different candidates, auditing candidates. Of course, cost to that is a big expense. But so that's part of what we're looking at and assessing right now. But we're also decided that we're going to go to the AMX Alternate Exchange, which is just been launched just recently by the New York Stock Exchange. They actually combined the old American Stock Exchange with a number of other European. That's where you're getting the name from, the AMX Alternex. But it's a number of European exchanges combined with the American Stock Exchange to create a new exchange, which is primarily put together for smaller companies, for microcap companies that may not be able to meet the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ requirements. but still have good fundamentals and are able and should be able to trade in a more liquid open market. So that's what we're doing. Some of the criteria in the number 3 tier is what we're looking to go for. We've almost kind of gotten there in quite a few of the things that need to be satisfied. One being the equity requirement. We need $4 million in stockholders' equity in order to qualify for that tier 3, and we're really kind of feeling like we'll probably get there here in the first quarter, maybe going into the second quarter. Our auditors gave us an original valuation of the purchase of the Archer software at $1 million. Now, we issued 2 million shares of $2.50 preferred stock, which gives us a $5 million valuation, but without, being in the initial stages of development, not having any sales to lean on as a way to bolster that value. The auditors haircut us to $1 million out of the 5, but they have a caveat which we think we're meeting, and one of us is basically, Brian, if you can start showing us some sales on a consistent basis, we'd be more than willing to upgrade that valuation, get you up towards that $5 million mark. And that is a requirement that we're going to be able to show here on this next filing. We're due to report before April 15th for fourth quarter 2015, which was the first quarter we were able to introduce the product for sales. And we have a nice number. We think it's going to be a number that will show what we think they're going to receive as the first phase, because it doesn't have to happen all at once, but we figure we can get closer to $4 million over the next 2 quarters in valuation of the Archer product. So we're meeting that. We have over 5,000 shareholders. The requirement on Tier 3 is 400 shareholders owning 1 million shares of stock each. And we are already well beyond that criteria right there. So of the various sets of requirements needed to meet that, we're already along the way of meeting some of that criteria. So we're really excited. We think that's the next phase. It's a key element in our, along with our performance, that will allow us to receive the funding we want for our hedge fund, which is the long-term goal of the company.
My guest today has been Brian Sorrentino. He is the CEO of Syndication, Inc., ticker symbol SYNJ, traded on the OTC Pink Sheets. Brian, is there anything that we didn't touch upon that you'd like to, in the last couple of seconds here, to get out to the listeners that you'd like to talk about that we haven't?
Well, the only thing I would say is that the pricing, I just realized the guys, we had an introductionary price, and unfortunately, it's not unfortunate, it's really a good turn of events, but we had an introductionary pricing of Archer at $200 a month to start, just to get it out there and start. But we understand now that has been increased to $330 a month with a minimum requirement of 3 months for each purchase. But we're starting to get revenue, we're starting to get numbers, and we're finding that from a shareholder investing forte. That's why I mentioned that more than anything. But the product is being received very well. The demand is such that it's already allowing us to sort of spread our wings a little bit, raise the price, and demand a little bit higher price for Archer, and we're kind of through the introductory phase of our marketing, which is a nice threshold to be able to talk about.
Absolutely. Brian, thank you very much for coming on the show today, and we're going to check back with you in the next 2 or 3 months. Hopefully you'll give us some positive updates to Syndication, Inc. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thanks for having me, Everett. I do appreciate the opportunity.